Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So this video is just going to be just a quick recap of what's been going on today. The LSU Pro Days happened today, and there's a lot of prospects coming out of LSU. And, I mean, you got Jabril Cox, who didn't really do much today, who's probably a target for the Giants in the first, probably a second or third round if he's there. You got Jamar Chase, of course, who any chance of Jamar Chase falling to 11 got completely erased. Now, I don't put too much stock into these 40 times, and he got clocked at a 4.38. I'm not sure how real that time is, but you at least know that he's probably running low 4.4s. And, you know, if the dude's not running 4.5, he's basically a flawless prospect. His game checks out. Everything checks out. And you know he wasn't running a 4.5. So even if that was in the mid 4.4s, still a crazy time for him. 41-inch vertical. Ridiculous numbers. Kyle Pitts measured in at like an 83 and 5/8 wingspan. So that's the longest wingspan for a wide receiver or tight end in the past 20 years. Ridiculous numbers for both of them. I mean, crazy numbers. Kyle Pitts also ran a 4.4 at 6'6", 245. So all the people that wanted to say he didn't have wide receivers kind of skills, he does. He can catch like a wide receiver. He can run routes like a wide receiver. And he can get down the field like a wide receiver. Even if he ran a 4.5, I mean, that's still receiver speed. So both of these guys absolutely blew up their pro days. Some other guys that stood out, Kerry Vincent Jr. out of LSU, ended up having a 42-inch vertical, ran a 4.38. Terrace Marshall out of LSU, the other LSU wide receiver, you know, after Jamar Chase, ended up running a 4.38 too. So that time is kind of fishy to me. I don't know if he's a 4.38 guy, but that is in a really impressive time. Really impressive time, even if he's in the mid 4.4s. Terrace Marshall, he's always had that straight line speed, so that might be it, but I don't know how quickly he can accelerate in and out of his cut. So that's pretty much my only concern with him still. But he's a solid route runner. He's a big body receiver. And, you know, he's going to be very versatile for whatever team drafts him. He can play in the slot. He played a lot in the slot, actually, when Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson were playing. He played a lot in the slot. He played outside more in 2020. So, I mean, LSU just completely blew up and then I forgot about Kadarius Toney. Now, I don't have his time in front of me. Let's see if I can pull up Kadarius Toney's time. But while I pull that up, he had an 11-foot broad jump. An 11-foot broad jump. So let me pull up his 40 time here. I see it's blazing fast. Everybody ran a blazing fast 40 time. But I see he ran a 4.39. So apparently everybody's running sub 4.4s these days. I don't know. I mean, there's probably a couple of, you know, milliseconds, hundreds of a second that's getting shaven off because this is at their pro day. You know, they do it with the turf. They do it with the shoes. They can do a lot of different things. A lot of times these tracks are shorter sometimes. So you never know exactly what's going on, but these are nonetheless really great times. So the top four prospects, you know, pass catching prospects that were performing today, which would be Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney, Jamar Chase, and Terrace Marshall, all pretty much blew up the combine. Now, Kyle Pitts had a 33-inch vertical, but it doesn't matter because his wingspan is so long, and he's already 6'6", or I think it was 6'6" and a half or something ridiculous like that. So, really big body receiver. And I think he's going to be playing a lot of wide receiver in the NFL. Of course, he'll still play some tight end, but I think he's going to be definitely playing both. If he's there at 11, the Giants have to consider it. They have to consider taking Kyle Pitts with that pick because he can do receiver things. I've said it from day one, and that will probably mean the end of Evan Ingram. He probably will be getting traded. Doesn't matter what you get back for him. I just don't see space in the offense for a Kyle Pitts who you want in the middle of the field. and a Kyle Rudolph who you want in the middle of the field, and who you can trust to do some of that blocking and be an actual dual threaded tight end, Evan Ingram, really doesn't have that fit there. So that's something to consider. If he's there, I think the Giants take him, but I doubt that he's going to be there. Teams are really high on him. Scouts are really high on him. They're talking about him as the best pass catcher in the draft, which I still disagree with. Man, I mean, I was holding out for Jamar Chase. If anybody doesn't know, he's my favorite prospect in this draft by far. I have him as my number one prospect in the entire draft because he's a perfect receiver. He's 6 foot, weighed in at like 203. So I thought he weighed in a little bit more, but he weighed in at 203. He ran a 4.38. So, if you want to say that that's a pro day, the pro day leaned his time a little bit down. 4.43, 4.44. I mean, who knows what the actual time was, but low 4.4s for him with how he plays the position, with people that say that he couldn't separate, even though he's one of the twitchiest guys and one of the strongest guys, great after the catch. There's really no weakness to his game at all. The only weakness people tried to say was his long speed. But if you watch his tape and then you watch his 40 time, even if you're running a 4.48, you're still a threat down the field. So Jamar Chase really lit everything up, and I still think he's the number one guy. I hope teams start to value Kyle Pitts, and I was hoping that Jamar Chase would have an off day today and he run like a 4.5 or a 4.6 or something ridiculous, and he would just start dropping down draft boards, and Kyle Pitts will run this high 40 time, this fast 40 time, and it will push Jamar Chase, push him down to 11. But that's not going to happen. We're going to be, I hate to say stuck with Jalen Waddle, but we're going to have Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith to pick from. We're going to have, Micah Parsons and all these other guys that we'll be able to look at. Rashawn Slater, a lot of options to go with at 11. But, man, I wish that we could have gotten Jamar Chase, man. I really do, because he's the best receiver. He's just the best receiver in this draft. And I really don't think that another receiver is going to be coming out until actually the other wide receiver at LSU wearing number one right now, Kayshon Boutte, comes out in about 2 or 3 years. I don't really see someone that's as good as Jamar Chase coming out soon. So it sucks to lose out on him. I've said something on Twitter saying like we should have lost the last game. Listen, I don't root for my team to lose. More of a joke, but man, if we would have, this is the second year in a row that we win a game and at the end of the season and we lose out on somebody named Chase. But hey, we ended up getting Andrew Thomas, and this year we might end up getting a Jalen Waddle or a Micah Parsons or even another offensive lineman that makes us say, well, we really needed this. And, Chase Young last year probably would have been good for us, probably would have been great, maybe even elevates us to the playoffs, but we would have had a huge hole at left tackle and right tackle. It would have been a mess. I mean, maybe we would have had Matt Parrott there. Who knows? We might have had to make a trade after the opt-outs because Andrew Thomas ended up working out for us. We would have had a much bigger hole at left tackle than edge rusher, especially the way our defense played last year. Jamar Chase, it just sucks. He's not going to be a Giant. I just can't see any way. I mean, I've been running all these calculations in my head. I just don't see it. He'll never be a Giant. Maybe in free agency in 4 years, I'll be happy. But for now, we lost out on him. We might have had a chance at 6, but it's definitely a wrap now. So you guys let me know what you think of what you saw in the pro days, what numbers you saw. Did anybody shoot up your draft boards? Did anybody fall? Let me know. So if you made it this deep into the video, I'm calling you a D6 squad member. If you're a D6 squad member, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to turn on that notification bell. And listen, I make all kinds of content for NFL teams. So if you're not a Giants fan, don't worry. I'll cover your team. If I'm not covering your team, let me know. And have a good one.